that he said would not get my feet wet at all.
My shoe is completely dry.
Okay, anyway, we got it.
Yours was soaked.
Took the shoe off. Okay, well, welcome to the Quadricast.
I'm not
of
even
Captain
supposed to be
Flowers,
here.
Cody,
I thought
John,
he was
and
going to be
Jack's
slower.
shoe.
I'm sorry. I'm leaving. Have fun.
Well, no, you're here now.
Okay, I'll stick around for draft. I'll stick around for draft, then I'll leave.
You can't just come up here and take your shoe off and then leave.
Well,
That's bad manners.
All right, you can decide what you want me to do.
I want you to stay here with your shoes on.
Yeah, all right, they're both on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Let's see what we got, because it's Milio versus Karma.
Lock it in, Evelyn. Oh, okay. No Evelyn, lock in. Yeah, catch us up. Okay.
It's a risky draft because there's no Yumi ban currently.
But there is Zeri ban.
Good. I'm actually really surprised that we haven't seen just Lucian Yumi right here. So maybe it's because the Karma is going to outshove it. We haven't seen really any Karma.
Or maybe it's because Lucian's banned.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I was looking at my shoe. I have an excuse. I was looking at Kobe's wet feet and comparing it to my dry shoe, and I missed the Lucian ban.
Okay. But the Karma pick, I'm assuming, is going to be bot lane Karma because you can punish these Milio lanes pretty heavily. So let's see what TSM are cooking with here. I was just hyping up the Turtle Chime bottom lane, saying that bottom lane is going to be a top half bottom lane in the league. So now we got to see it because they gave up the Milio Aphelios. You know that thing is oppressive later on. I want to see what they lock with the Karma. Something else long range, shove them under tower, and keep them there.
Are we sure this Karma could be going solo?
It definitely could be mid, but I'm hoping that we see something to bully like the Milio Aphelios lane.
Is Hauntzer just going to play Malphite every game?
It seems to be
he's the
trend.
Yeah. That is the trend.
He's
been 3 for 3.
You know, he's been in the gym a lot. He's becoming the mountain IRL. He's the mountain in the game.
It's really good versus these teams that do have Kindred players. If you can catch them with your team and pop them before they get their ultimate off, it makes such a big difference here. So we'll see about these ultis from Hauntzer. He has had some very good ones.
Yeah, to your point though, Flowers, I think Hauntzer might be the strongest player in the LCS.
Like
like can lift the most?
Or like a guy
can lift the most.
Physically strongest player in the LCS. Like, I don't know what the correct test of strength is. Probably just your compound lifts. He's right up there.
Yeah, I would say that's a reasonable take. At first, I thought you were talking about gameplay. I was like, day one was not that great.
I think I heard someone from the audience shout bench.
Bench.
I mean,
bench could be a good measure. Bench could be a good measure.
I think squat.
I think both. I think it needs to be more than one test, and then you take the aggregate score.
I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
By the way, this is the chat effect on your champion select, in case you're wondering.
Well, every champ select is the same.
Yeah, it's
you have to change it a little bit.
One.
Actually true. Is that Jhin real?
Yes.
Okay. So
it's different.
This is with the slightly nerf. This is not the second nerf onto Gale Force, but this is the first one. Jhin rose and skyrocketed to popularity on 13-10 when it was first super buff Storm Razor and Gale Force, and this sucker was moving around at light speed doing 10 billion damage burst damage. It is going to be kind of what I was hyping up though with the Karma, to have some burst damage and try and punish some lane phase here versus Cloud9. We'll see if it actually bears fruit, because everybody knows what Jhin is going to do later in the game. If you don't get fed, not much is going to happen at all. If you do, though, then you can burst down things like Kindred and catch them out if they catch them by surprise before they get their ultimates off, make them look a little silly.
Speaking of Kindred and ultimates, I always love to see Gragas in Kindred games because Lamb's Respite heals everybody.
If they try
Gragas
to get on your ult,
you just knock her out of her own ultimate, and then Ksante can do it too.
Exactly.
TSM going full range? Come on, lock it. Full range. Lock it. We've got Jhin plus Xerath plus Karma possibilities here. Just poke out. Aww.
See, what you did is you fell for the bamboozle, and that's why they switched it over to the most meta sauce
living
possible.
my life to the fullest, Getting excited about hovers.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, fine. Well, at least we get to have some Gragas Kindred outplay potential. We've got the Jhin. That's pretty exciting.
I'm on Blaber MVP watch.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's a little early for
I was going to say it's week 1.
So it's more like player of the week watch.
Okay.
So he was already on this watch like last.
And he almost won MVP. It's a good thing I was watching. So Blaber is already 2-0.
Eyes wide open.
Summit has won 2 Player of the Games, had a really good week in TL's 3-0, but Blaber's Kazakh's game, I believe it was against Santorin yesterday, is just going to ruin Santorin's stats for the whole split. I think Blaber was like 3,000 gold up at 15 minutes, so even if he's even for the next 5 games, it's going to be an average of like negative 500 air sometime in the future. And this was after the first game, and it's like, what did you notice about that game? He's like, well, Blaber said I'm going to full clear no matter what. We're going to have to talk about that in the review. And then the next game, he full cleared again. So watch Blaber win MVP.
If you're playing champions that can carry, then
Full clear no matter what.
resources are very, very important. And Blaber always has been a jungler that will love to look for efficient, full clear pathing so that he can get fed.
All right. Well, let's hope that we get some spicy Kindred gameplay here. How do you, Kobe, you're into a lot of different jungle matchups. How do you feel about Kindred versus Wukong?
I prefer the Kindred side because you can get super aggressive if you have laners pushing in.
Okay.
Kindred's first red buff for Kindred is this so much harassment possibility. You can go for some invades, make the Wukong run around the map and kind of scavenge for scraps. It's definitely harder to pull off in pro play since teams are much more coordinated around protecting their junglers, but I love being the Kindred side of it. Right now, it's just such a good time to play Kindred with Trinity Force getting a bunch of extra stats and escaping the bans or the reductions that Gale Force and Stormrazor and stuff got.
EMENES gonna get that push in mid. We earlier today had the game where Ksante was locked in for Dignitas, and we're like, there's no way, Jensen's not a Ksante player, it's not happening. Now this is kind of the opposite thing, where when I see Ksante locked in on Cloud9, I pretty much expect it to be EMENES.
Yeah.
More than Fudge.
Absolutely, he's done it the most. I do also know his Gragas game from day one was not that good.
No, I would go so far as to say it was the opposite.
Yeah, you do know that, huh?
Well, it was against Gory, and it was probably one of the worst games I've seen EMENES play. So it does make sense to keep him, at least for this week, on the Ksante, have Fudge go up, take the Gragas. They still get 2 really versatile frontline champions to go with their double marksman plus Milio, and I think it just will stabilize the laning phase more than the other way around.
And we've seen EMENES be such a skillful player in so many different matchups. So yeah, if something's not there with the Gragas pick in week 1, I'm with you. Just keep him off of it, put him on something that he's played to great success so many times before. Because, I mean, this is the guy that we were praising so much during Spring Split for just showing up. He wasn't able to get in for a big chunk of the split. And I think it was you who actually brought it up, Jed. He has, like, the record for the fastest time to go from, playing it was the least amount of wins to go from joining the LCS to getting a trophy.
It was 10 regular season games, and that's including tiebreakers, and then trophy. No one had ever done it in that few regular season games.
Jumps in, finds the engage, and Tofo strikes.
Setting up for Kindred.
Blaber did not full clear.
Blaber flashing in, guaranteeing the range on Insanity. Yes, he's charmed up, but the first blood is there. C9's on the board.
That's the 6th camp. That's the bigger 6th camp right there, mid lane.
Pass by mid lane.
Ahri camp.
Clear that Ahri camp. Sorry, Insanity. Not your fault. You've been labeled a Kindred mark. All right. EMENES, as you guys were talking about it and him setting this up, Ksante has such amazing setup here. And once that E is on, already charged, Blaber knows the next auto, even with the charm hitting, he's going to be able to get it off. He's going to be able to secure that kill. And racks it up himself, plus able to get top Scuttle Crab and finish off that full clear.
That's really huge. That's a good start.
With your mid laner playing a tank, you feel good putting the money on the carry-style jungler anyway. Get him ahead, get him snowballing.
Yeah, and this is something they did yesterday as well when Blaber was on Kazakhs, as we're seeing the power of Jhin in laning phase. But basically, Blaber would gank top lane. There was this really interesting sequence where Blaber ganked top lane, and then Fudge recalled while Blaber took 2 plates, and then Fudge teleported bottom to match the enemy jungler, while Blaber continued to kill the turret and get solo turret gold on Kazakhs. So they were actually dividing their resources to make Blaber the carry when he was on Kazakhs.
Let's see if Bugi can do anything up here, though. Fudge smacking Hauntzer around a little bit. Hauntzer showing no fear. You would think that that would make Fudge wonder, what's he doing up here? Yeah,
it's
just
acting.
like,
oh.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Fudge has to know. This is a paid actor Malphite.
Yeah.
He is simply pretending. Okay.
But Fudge acted enough to keep Bugi there because he thought maybe Fudge wasn't acting. So he was the better actor of the 2.
That's correct. Yes.
That's why he got the Cloud9 job.
Blaber's just clearing wards. He's hanging out. Fudge is going back up to top side. AP Gragas, good. I like that Gragas better than the tank one.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, they've got double marks.
They need some magic damage. Yeah, if they did double tank, then they'd be 2 physical damage, and Malphite would never die. So he needs to go AP. That's good.
And you have more Everfrost possibility setups here for CC to really feed those marksmen.
Still only that 1 kill on the board from Blaber passing through mid lane. Insanity has the level 6 now, so it's going to be harder to do that in the future. Bottom laner's still only level 4. Blaber still patrolling around here, only has the 1 mark from the kill. You can see him stepping up in the enemy jungle here, but that mark has already been cleared by Bugi. Scryer Plant finds the Wukong in the recall. Blaber is already shopped. He has the Hearthbound axe, whereas Bugi just has an inventory of no real combat power. So now that he goes back, shops, grabs his Warhammer, he's in a better spot if he runs into that Kindred again. But like you already said, Kobe, Kindred likes to get scrappy if you've got lanes winning, and both EMENES and Fudge are shoved up to the enemy turret.
Yeah, definitely does. And EMENES is far shoved up on the enemy turret. Even going to take a tower shot with the extra charm hitting here. He was trying to charge up his Demolish proc there, but Insanity is able to land the charm under tower. Keep him respectful.
Bugi, is there an angle here? He's waiting for it.
Looking like some counter. Oh, and he's gonna go for it.
Okay, Insanity jumps in. Spirit Rush into the charm. EMENES goes all out, looking to bring Bugi back underneath the turret. Nicely played by EMENES. As bottom lane, Zven escapes from Turtle and Chime. That 2v2 is not gonna lead to a kill, but Fudge gives Hauntzer a big old drink. Oh, the barrel, not enough.
He got 1 more auto win. It would have been closer. He wouldn't have killed him, I'm pretty sure. So I was doing the math real quick.
The same outcome.
Yeah. I thought maybe it was a kill, then I thought about it. It wasn't.
Good escape from EMENES though, and his reaction and getting the immovable off there with the Ksante to get the escape, just using his ultimate. Since he didn't have his flash up, that was very necessary. Good reactions from EMENES earn him. Not only does he stay alive, Blaber though.
Blaber wants to take the Drake. He just gets popped. He gets it, but Turtle puts a bullet in his head for the trouble.
He puts him down afterwards, but he got the dragon. So
Turtle took Lamb behind the shed for stealing his dragon.
Peak Jhin just 4th shot him right after the dragon. That was a really dicey situation for Blaber because I actually thought Turtle was going to try and hit him earlier to try and get the Kindred ult out like early so that Blaber wouldn't be able to finish the dragon, but the alternative is fine. They get the kill.
Yeah, okay, you trade the first Drake. Ocean is a nice Drake to acquire early on in the game, so Cloud9's all right with it, I think. They're still up over 1,000 gold.
I would like to note, too, for EMENES, after he escaped certain death there in the mid lane, and Blaber was starting dragon, he did get his Aftershock proc after all and got a turret plate, too. So this Ksante, not only is it up in CS, absorbing enemy cooldowns, but also able to get the turret plate for himself. So doing super well on this champ that we're hyping up. He plays so much of it in mid lane after the trend started quite a while ago of all the mid laners playing it. He put a bunch of time in on it and is performing much better on that than the Gragas.
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange sequence there where he spent a lot of time roaming bottom there, and that has given Bugi a lot of time to start up the Rift Herald and will make them slow on this move. Karma's also in mid lane, so it's a 3v4 if Cloud9 takes it.
Eyeball pop, they've got the Herald.
Yeah, TSM should have it.
Herald's all ready for TSM, but C9 wants to try to take a fight. Insanity and Bugi both going to get hit by that ulti. If Chime can get in here in time, it could be the big difference maker. Blaber's ulti keeping everybody alive for now. As EMENES goes in and finds another Intofo strike on 2, goes all out, brings Insanity back over the wall, but Insanity kills Blaber on his escape. Fudge now charmed. TSM bringing the extra man, might be able to still find a fight, but EMENES is just tearing people apart. Double kill back over to Ksante. Fudge finally drops. Bugi getting the kill on him there, but EMENES is just going to beat everybody unless Insanity has something to say about it. The all-out finally expires. EMENES going to need some footwork here. Goes in! Done! Ksante gaming, he nearly gets them all.
King Ksante there. They got the roam, the support roam over there, so you think TSM's got it in the bag, but Ksante racks him up. EMENES
Cloud9 can't keep getting away with this. They actually did this so often in the Dignitas game, taking fights when they did not have the numbers advantage. They knew Karma was mid lane here, and they take the fight anyway.
Yeah, so Kindred ultimate, after the initial burst damage goes down, does save them for a while. EMENES gets 2 people on the Q3 here, then ults over Insanity to isolate him, but Insanity still gets the flash kill onto Blaber, and TSM, EMENES, he's not done. He's able to hit both of them with that Q3, kills them both, picks off the other one. Nice W from Bugi, or that would have been another one, another body bag there, but allows TSM to kite it out long enough. But here, again,
double stun.
So good.
TSM, I think, misplayed just barely at the end there. Shouldn't have grouped up for that double stun. Then it would have been able to kill him and not die. So EMENES shaking it off.
Yeah, he wanted the YouTube highlight with 4. He wanted to get them all.
That would have been better. 4 would have been better than 3.
3 still pretty good.
I think he's still all right being 3-1-1. He's got his Jack show already completed. Not even 11 minutes into the game. Fudge with another cast doesn't get the exact angle he was looking for, so Hauntzer still stays close enough to the turret to not die to this one.
Blaber's Player of the Week campaign is off to not a good start in this game.
Yeah. 1-2-1, not the ideal situation, but hey, he's got his Trinity Force now, and that's Player of the Week gasoline.
It is. It is. And also, once the stats get compiled, that's what people are going to see. So he needs to have, I'd say, 4 more kills at least this game.
Well, he definitely has a good chance now because he's got the power spike for Kindred. Trinity Force just completed for him with the little bit of a lead he has over Bugi right now. See if he can actually make use of it. He's got so much setup on his team. EMENES on full display in the last fight and is going to be able to push up the wave here.
That Everfrost stops him in his tracks, but nice use of that Q3 to get the knockback anyway, keep Insanity around for a little bit of an extended trade. Bugi wants his Gromp, but Blaber wants Bugi. Yeah, we flourish, not going to find a mark here as Boogie's forced to Cyclone defensively to get away from the Kindred.
Yeah, look how much burst damage that is. Trinity Force done, guess what? You want any duel. You will Q into the face of a Wukong who has ultimate. Don't care.
Still win.
Tons of damage. Thank you, Freak. Blaber's going to be able to get blue and Gromp.
Yeah, that's huge counter jungle. He already had about a 20 CS lead on Bugi. That's only going to get bigger here. Maybe a 2-level advantage after that Gromp dies. Not quite, but ready for the next dragon spawn.
That's up to 3 marks. So next mark, really big one. The 4th mark for that extra range. And we saw already, too, with that invade, the benefits of having that Milio on your team as the marksman jungler. Zven moved up with him, you know, gives him that extra burst damage as well to go with, that extra confidence. And it really does mean a difference. Blaber this time on Dragon jumps out. He doesn't want to die for this one, and they give it over.
All right, foul Drake for TSM, 1-1 on the Drake count. Meanwhile, we haven't really had anything happening down in bottom lane the whole time. It's just been a lot of farming, and Berserker's up 2 waves in that contest, so things are going nicely for Cloud9 on the other end of the map.
Yeah, I think in terms of CS, things are going well bottom lane. I think in terms of the way the map is played out, I think you can kind of see the strengths of the Karma and the Jhin. Chime was actually able to be involved in that Rift Herald fight. They also managed to kill Blaber at the first dragon, push him off the second dragon, so it does feel like they're getting push almost whenever they want in the bottom lane, and even though Zven hasn't moved much, they've gotten, what, 1.9 plates? Now 2 plates?
I hear what you're saying, and I still will not take that deal. I will take, give me the Aphelios Milio 100% of the days.
So I think Global League of Legends agrees with you.
Okay.
Based on the pick rate. But I will say, there are things that Jhin can do.
Yeah, he does things like W roots people.
He did the fourth shot on Blaber.
Yeah.
So Zven and C9 call Jhin Mr. Useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But ironically.
Yes.
Well, Bugi wanted to steal away those chickens, but Blaber said no, keeping his control over this game. They're at the same part of their EXP bar, but Blaber's 1 level up, so it is a true full level advantage, not just the I ticked it 1 camp ahead of you. Bugi struggling to keep pace with the Kindred. 40 farm. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Kindred, another part of Trinity Force, why it's actually quite good in a lot of jungle cases. The attack speed is good for helping clear your camps. Even though in a lot of the skirmishes, it doesn't get to shine fully. With this champ, it certainly does. And you're so tanky, too, as Kindred with the steel caps, plus 4 marks right now.
Oh, wow, he got the fourth.
Blaber is truly peaking.
This could end up being a lot like that C9 versus Golden Guardians game where you're like, oh man, this is kind of a slow game, and then 26 minutes in, it's just over. Because once they do get a few kills, they're going to shred through turrets so quickly. They just need that one fight, and then I think they can blow the game open. But they still have to be able to find that, because TSM, actually, in all 3 of their games, have just picked incredibly strong initiation. 3 Malphite games for Hauntzer, and Bugi and Insanity are generally always on champions that can be very active.
Well, they're not getting active right now. TSM deciding they do not want to fight for this second Herald. Not going to have a repeat big scrap in the top half of the river. It's C9 claiming that one. I picked up by Blaber.
And he's so rich. He's got to be so rich right now.
Fudge in some trouble. Chime looking to root him down there. Nice step away from the ulti, and now Bugi can follow up there. QRQ, easy does it. TSM 5-4 lead in the kills.
Look at that, actually. Only a 500 gold lead over Bugi because of the 2 kills that he's been able to pick up.
Definitely a good strategy here.
Yeah.
Fudge, to pick on Fudge when you're playing versus Cloud9, that has been the area that a couple teams have found an extra way back in. And after that Fudge kill, guess what? The bottom outer tower is traded, but they're not done. They're going to get 2 towers. So that kill for Bugi onto Fudge and Chime with the dodge on the ultimate here, really big rewards for it. Tremendous gold off of 2 towers on bottom side to keep it fairly close.
Yeah, not even 1,000 gold separating the 2 teams now. It's just going to come down to a lot of execution. And like you said, Jet, they draft a lot of initiation on TSM's side. The more initiation you have, the easier your execution is.
Yeah, and they were able to use that to achieve victory yesterday. But I do see a Sunfire Cape on Ksante.
Yes.
And I'm looking at TSM's team, and I'm wondering if EMENES will die again this game. I think that's in question.
That is.
I don't see Jhin with the Storm Razor. That's not going to do anything. The Abyssal Mask Malphite, nope. Pretty much just Insanity. But if Insanity's using all his Ahri stuff on Ksante, then he's not using it on Blaber and Berserker.
Which is in itself another problem.
So I see a 1,000 gold lead, but I feel a much bigger lead.
Okay.
How about you, Kobe?
We're gonna have to see the Storm Razor, Gale Force Jhin do something to other people. Yeah, because I agree.
Yeah.
No, the tanks are not going to be
How big does the lead feel to you?
It feels medium-sized.
So like how much gold? How much gold is medium size?
763.
Oh, so you think that's accurate? I'm gonna say it feels like 3,000.
Okay.
You're sticking with 900?
Yeah.
You're just a man of numbers. No risk there.
But there could be risk if TSM want to fight for this dragon. Do they? C9, total control over the bottom side river for now. Insanity is pushing up that bottom lane, so he's not anywhere nearby. He does have the Unleashed teleport available, but if C9 finds somebody, they might just explode them before the teleport can even be a part of it. You can see Hauntzer already, 40% HP here. He's just gonna die. Blaber's still looking for him. He's trying to run it off. Flashes away.
Yeah. Might as well be dead. No ult, no flash, no health bar. So that is going to be the dragon. And Cloud9, Fudge is going to go collect the minion wave on bottom side. The only thing that they will lose is a very small thing, because Insanity teleported to top side to try and counter shove up there. They might lose a few of the minions, but it looks like even sending up some reinforcements now. Let's see how much TSM could get on the other side of the map. They take away a little bit. Gromp, shove in the wave on top side.
I agree. The gold lead actually shrunk. Yeah. But I feel like Cloud9's lead got bigger.
So you just keep saying.
So you know
the exact opposite of what's on the screen. I know it says 900.
I'm analyzing. I can't, like, what do you need me for here if I'm not going to give you context?
It's just funny because I think it shrunk.
I'm not even supposed to be here, Captain Powers.
I know, that's why this is so fun. That's why I'm having a good time.
Have you ever played that carnival game where they'll have several different boxes that are closed in, and then you stick your hand in and you have to guess what it is based off the feel?
Yeah.
Like, Jat would be really good at that game.
And you would not be willing to take a risk. You were like, I think there's an object in here.
Box.
Make a statement, man. How big is this lead?
781 gold. It's big enough for Hauntzer to just get beat to death down here. This tier 1 turret falls. C9 They got all that momentum. You know, for as much crap as I'm giving you for this entire segment, it does feel like C9 is way further ahead than the number would suggest.
Yeah, I was super right, but more importantly, Kobe is way too conservative.
You're asking how much gold they're ahead.
How much does it feel like they're ahead?
Well, they're ahead enough for EMENES to just dive in and kill Chime. Nice shutdown goes back over to Bugi, though. The answer to Jat's question is yes, he will die again. Now Blaber's locked up. He's killed because the Lamb's Respite had already been used. Zven's trying to get away, but it's a double kill over to Insanity. Maybe we caster curse that gold lead after all, because TSM turned right back.
They're teleporting.
Around.
They're not even. They're looking for a dive play or something. Berserker is low, but he still has flash.
He's got
so
Baron just spawned.
I think that's a little. Okay.
Is it just a Baron rush?
This game is feeling a lot closer now.
Fans at home, I wish you could see Kobe's reaction to this. This is. Oh, this is.
We need like a.
They're getting married. Come on.
We need a graphic with Jat's Philometer. Baron's going down pretty quickly here, and Berserker's watching. Fudge has his eyeballs on it, but there's no smite here for Cloud9.
He's got blue gun ult. He can do a lot of damage.
Fudge throws the ulti in. Baron's down to 1,000, secured by TSM and Bugi. Fudge trying to get away from this one. Oh no! They just made brownies out of them.
I don't trust Jat's feelings,
So-
but I'm taking away from this.
So I can explain.
Okay, what do you got, buddy?
We're going to see if Blaber's able to chase anyone down.
Okay.
But this is a story. This is a story that goes back before just this game.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Cloud9 did whatever the hell they wanted against Dignitas because they were up 5,000 gold. They took so many fights that were 3v4, 3v5, and won them. I was thinking at the time this is going to give them so many bad habits. They were feeling very far ahead in this game, and they made a stupid play. So TSM was just waiting for Cloud9 to make a mistake. They do have good initiation, and when EMENES and Blaber fly flashing over that wall, they have gone too far because Berserker's Zven can't come in. Insanity is able to get the kill onto the richest members of Cloud9, and the timing of this could not be worse because there's so many members missing on Cloud9 that TSM can take the Baron. So they're now slingshotting themselves ahead in this game.
And that's why we highlight these split seconds mean everything for Kindred ultimates. He's not able to get it off in time to save his teammate. So then his ultimate is wasted because he's sitting there full health. It times out. EMENES is already dead, and then he can't use it when he's trying to escape, and the Wukong gets the upper hand in this one with that small timing difference and being knocked up, not being able to save him there. It was a sick start to the play, flashing over. But in the end, TSM coming with Baron buff, and guess what? That's almost a 2,000 gold lead. After they crack this tower, it will get there.
Okay. Let's see if Cloud9 get anything back. A couple of arrows out of Blaber there. Chime gets away before he gets the proc. But C9 finding themselves, like you said, man, punished for that stupid play in mid lane. The dive went way too far, way too hard. TSM staying together as they retreat. 35 seconds on that next Drake. That one that they denied earlier actually very important because now even if Cloud9 gets this, it's not Soul.
Very true. It will be the second mountain, which is very important, and I really want to know, Kobe, do you feel like TSM can make the upset from this position?
Yes, I feel like they can. It's going to be hard for Hauntzer, especially as he is caught here. Ultimate and flash available. He might have to use one of the two.
He's creating space. He's
of the
rooted.
two.
Oh, he gets away. Unstoppable force. Unstoppable in the other direction. Meanwhile, a 1v1 up in the top lane between Insanity and EMENES. With Hauntzer forced to recall and having no ulti, I feel like this is a C9 Drake for sure.
I agree. I feel like they can still win as well. Kobe's on TSM side. I'm going to say it's C9. Maybe it's just because I'm biased against their 2-0 start, but we'll see. I think the team composition will still work. I think it was a slip-up they had at the Baron pit.
Okay.
It's going to be a close game. This is a much better game than we were expecting.
We also almost got the Ahri joining in on the fight down there, but yeah, EMENES stepping up, making sure that doesn't happen. Gargoyle Stone Plate completed third. Very, very tanky boy. I feel like if Cloud9 does retake the lead and retake the game, it's going to be off the back of EMENES.
Right. 5-2, he has the majority of his gold.
It's going to be off the back of a big team fight here, and Milio ultimate ready, Kindred ultimate ready. The team fight possibilities for this Cloud9 squad are through the roof.
C9 has all their flashes up, which is really, really important in pro Malphite games. Because if you are able to flash that Malphite ultimate, he really has nothing left, and you can usually turn the fight.
EMENES gets away from 3 TSM members. but they find a little bit more damage on the back end of that. No Baron for another 2 minutes, no Drake for another 4. There's not really anything to fight over right now, so unless you just want to fight because PvP is the theme of the game, then the genre of game you're playing.
For what it's worth, there is some analysis here. There are some people that believe you always need a purpose to fight, like you're fighting because you need to take a turret or you're fighting because you need to get an objective. There's also a theory that you just fight so you can get gold.
Yeah.
So legitimately, both of those things can be true at different times. And I think there was a moment where Cloud9 was fighting. They'll backwards explain it because they were trying to get gold. They're really just fighting to fight.
Right, because they were fighting because it's a PvP.
Are you talking about the dive in mid? Because they saw the pick. They were just looking for the assassination pick.
Yeah.
And they did get it.
Yeah. But then there's people that would say, like, why? There's no point to doing that. The point is gold.
Yeah.
But there wasn't another point like Dragon or Baron. Like,
And also sending the message.
Yes.
Right. They're sending the message
That's
that they want to play
League
PvP.
of Legends.
All right, are we going to get a fight here? What are we going to do? Blaber, you're Kindred.
I mean, TSM don't want straight up fights. This team has to get picks. Their champions are not good for team fighting. So if you're talking about you're feeling for team fights, Cloud9, they still have the advantage. They're the ones with the lead in these dragons. The Mountain Dragon's doing a lot of value here. The 2,000 gold is not carrying a lot of weight. So TSM, even though they have gold lead, they still have to try and utilize these champions with their strengths of getting picks. The Jhin and the Ahri especially. Malphite and Wukong here ready for that snap engage, and they're waiting on the arrival of the Baron. 30 seconds, they've already got vision control.
I really want to shout out Insanity right now as well. He wasn't even the intended mid laner when they signed Ruby, but he's in there now.
Not going to engage. Hauntzer right beside him. The Lamb's Respite's already been dropped. TSM are looking for their fight, but Fudge has found his way in through a TP, and Blaber's chasing down WildTurtle. The Jhin's the first one killed, and TSM are about to get crushed. EMENES goes all out. Chime's on the run. Hauntzer and Insanity can't fight back, and C9's about to get a full clean ace. Hauntzer flashes the way back to the blast cone, but EMENES does not want to let him get away from this one. He keeps the chase alive. Hauntzer's gonna live, but everybody else on TSM is dead, and the Baron is the prize for C9.
Yep, they had to get a pick. That is not a pick, that is a team fight. Cloud9, put him in the ground. Baron will be theirs, and they can complete it.
Another mark for Blaber, as well as he is just maximizing his gold. Teammates, you can take the Baron. I'm going to farm mid. 236 CS, 27 minutes into this game.
And he went over and got that 8 stack on the Wolf camp.
8 stacks. That's part of playing a stack champion. The stack is the most important thing in the game.
2-level lead, also quite nice.
Yeah. All right, what does the lead feel like now, Jet?
It feels 6 or 7K.
Okay.
Because of the 8 stacks and the bigger team fight composition, but also it does feel like the game is late enough that TSM can still win it. So I thought they were in a position to win if they fight this a little bit cleaner. There was actually a really good Kindred ultimate by Blaber, and it's a very narrow corridor that TSM can't necessarily follow through. You can see Turtle gets isolated. You can see that Ahri, Insanity's Ahri couldn't get a great flank off, and Cloud9 could just run them down. Double marksman, Milio, everything really came together for Cloud9 in that fight.
See, I think you and the disconnect here is you're talking about feeling of gold lead as like win percentage.
Yeah.
But you keep saying feeling of gold lead.
Yeah, because when you look
like
at
gold lead is something that we do measure, but win, chance of winning.
That's all feel.
Okay.
We'll sync on this after. There's a future here for TriCast of talking about the feeling of leads. We might need a better definition than gold.
I'm kind of just enjoying this. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know where
Blaber is
I don't know where the car's going, but I'm enjoying the ride. Blaber over the wall
Look at
inside
that
the enemy
range.
base. The range on this Kindred dude, he's terrorizing these health bars. Bugi's trying to get away, but Fudge claims him. Hauntzer's gonna drop next, and Insanity went too. It's a 5v2 in the enemy base. Chat, you called it earlier. This is one of those games that's really close until, boom, the Nexus explodes, and C9's looking to make that happen right now. Berserker chases Turtle and Chime back into the fountain, and there they go. The Nexus turrets both collapse. Berserker still looking for a couple of more kills. Blaber's going to go in and grab one. Padding the stats for Player of the Week, like you said, Jet. GG, 29 minutes in. C9 end week 1, 3-0.
3 consecutive sub-30-minute games for Cloud9. 3 consecutive games with Blaber being super duper greedy and getting a bunch of gold. This was